Hi, I'm Jan with Jan Patek Quilts, and I do needle turn applique. And I think what we're going to focus on today is this is Hawthorn Ridge, a 7-month block of the month made out of Hawthorn Ridge fabric line, but you can make it out of anything. I'd like you to make it out of Hawthorn Ridge, but if you don't, you'd still have a really neat quilt. What we're doing today is the placement on these big twirly blocks that have all the pieces. And I'm gonna take a piece out of American Patchwork and Gardens repertoire and do it in a different colorway. In the quilt, it's with the dark background and the light leaves. And I'm going to reverse it and do it with a light background. And what I think I'll do with it afterwards is turn it into a wall hanging, because once I started doing this, I wanted to sew it again. So, because it is different than the dark one. The first thing you need to do, because you've got so many diagonals here, and then you need to find the center, you need to find these diagonals, and then you'll have the spaces in between. So you take your square, which I believe is 20 and a half and 20 and a half, it'll be in the pattern. I think that's what you cut it. But you fold it in two, and then you fold it in two again to make a smaller square, and then you make it into a triangle, and you press this. This is going to give you lines to use to place your pieces, your fabric pieces, because you can do it lots of different ways, but to me this is the easiest one. You can draw it on the block, but that gets real complicated to me. Okay, so now we have this line minus the little extra pieces of thread. We have the center, and where I've already, there, had to find which way was up. That's going to go right there, okay? That's up, and I've already appliqued the star on and done a running stitch to pull it and tighten the circle around. You cut it out of fabric. Not really just a 1/4 inch, 3/8 to a 1/2 inch bigger, because you're going to be pulling this up, and then pull it up. Yep, that's still up. Okay, and so that goes in the center, and you can kind of tell where that's going to go. Now the next thing you have are your leaves, and your leaves with, there's that one. I'm trying to figure out how it goes. Oh, I'll look at this one, because that's the one I'm doing. Okay, this will go like this. And see, you've got your diagonal lines right here. And what I have done is basted under the ends, because they're going to go under there. They're going to go under the circle. And I basted on these leaves the ends under, and then basted this under, and then sewed this leaf to the big leaf. So now you've got, this goes out here on this part of the fold, this goes here. Now I've done the same thing with this. Anything that is going to go under something else, you have to baste under. Then you can glue it on and needle turn it. So then this one will go like this. And this one, I haven't basted it. Well, good, now I can do it. Now I can't do that with this. I've already done that. I'll do that in a minute. But I will baste that under. And that's why you have to baste it under. You can't just sew the circle down right now. If you do, these seams wouldn't be turned under. It wouldn't be needle turn. It'd be, I'm trying to remember what Kansas Troubles does, raw edge applique. And she does it beautifully, but it's not what I do. Now we have our berry stems that we need to put on, and I cut them out and then basted them under all the way, because they're so biasy. You need to know exactly where they're going to be, and then I press them down because it's real hard to get them right if you don't. And I'll show you how I did that in a second because I've got one here. You clip the inner curve. Always clip the inner curve. Now if I can get this loose. Here. Don't clip the outer curve because if you clip the outer curve, you'll get points. There's the thimble in here. Here's my thimble, and here's my little scissors. Okay. Now, so you've clipped all this. It can be kind of tricky. So I tend to turn it over. So I'm doing, yeah, it'd help if I didn't have a knot, but of course I'm going to immediately. That's the way it works, always. And we'll hope I can get it loose. Yeah, I can. There. Now, you've drawn your lines. You can see my lines here. So you know where to turn it. So you can do it from the back and make sure you're getting each one of these down because it will lie flatter if you do. Is it lie or lay? Oh well, we're not going to do English grammar. Anyway, it'll be flatter. Your stem will if you get these down. Okay, so we just hope we don't. We did. I'm not going to keep doing it. Unthread it, and you'll go ahead and finish basting that down. Well, maybe I will. And then what I did was I pressed them all with an iron because even with basting them under, they curve a little, they do something. So if you just get an iron, and if I'm in the house, which I usually am at this point and don't want to go to the loft, I just use my little clover line iron that I keep in the house. There you go. It threaded. Nice. Okay. That's why I brought it threaded, but then I unthreaded it before I could use it. Okay. So we do this, and then when we get to the end, we're going to fold the other side under, once again on the line, and turn around and go the other way and baste it down too. Just make sure it's on the line. Okay, and I'm not going to sit and do that for the whole thing, but you get the idea. And when you get done, you'll have this, and you take them, and I'll put this over here. Put my glasses back on so I can see what I'm doing. That's all I do sometimes is and I lose my glasses because I'll take them off. If I get a message on my phone, I have to take them off to read them. And then I lose my glasses and can't find them because I've set them down. And I don't even notice. One day I got halfway to town before I realized I didn't have my glasses on and I was driving. Oh well, I made it. Anyway, these will then be placed on your straight lines there, and that's just where they go under. You don't put them on the straight line, but that's just so they're placed exactly the same place on all four of them, and that one will go there too. Then we have to do and what I would do at this point is I would glue everything down with just dots of glue, okay, on the back here. In fact, I may do that. Why don't I? We're going to hope the glue isn't stuck. It is, naturally. That's the only problem with using the glue. Oh well. What you would do is take a dot of glue and put it here and here, and then one here and here. And then pull this out. I can't do this one anyway. Glue it here, stick it back under, and after you get all those glued in place, then you glue this down. And let it set for a while, maybe 5 minutes, so the glue's really there. And then sew your circle down, and that will hold everything where it's supposed to be. Okay, and then after your circle's done, go ahead and sew all of these down, including your berry stems. Okay, because you've glued all of this down and you don't need the berries to be in the way. Okay, then you make berries. And I'm using, these are 3/4 inch berries because I always do. Once I found out from my friend Cherie that these are office sticker things, tag sales, mailing labels, whatever. Avery, Universal, all sorts of different people make them, and they come in sheets. And these are 3/4 inch, and these are 3/4 inch berries in this pattern. They come in 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and an inch. And you'll find that that is the size I use. I just make the berries that size on purpose so I can use these, because it cuts out having to trace the berry, cut the berry out. It cuts out 2 whole steps. Now, once you've done that, I need 3 of this color berry for each one. I'll need 12 altogether, but what you do is just cut a strip of fabric and put your berries on it, stick your berries on it, and then just cut them out. About, if you can, the 1/2 inch berries, you have to cut it closer than a 1/4 inch. The rest of these, a 1/4 inch to a 3/8 is fine. And you cut them out, then you do a running stitch around the outside. We will take this away and draw them up so that they're a berry. And then we're going to have to do, I think, 3 of this color and 4 of these two. 4 and 4 is 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 berries for each stem, berry stem. And so I cut out all my berries and make them into berries and keep them in a Ziploc bag until I go to, while I've sewed all the rest of this stuff down. Now I can go and place my berries, and I'm trying to see where they go. Oh, phooey. We'll look at this one, because this is the one I'm doing here. We use a blueberry out here on this one. Yeah, next to there. And then a red, or a dark red, and then a bright red. And once again, you would glue these down. Do a whole stem, glue them down, then sew them on. And as you do it, what I would do, because sewing these berries, each one by one, can be a real drag. Okay, we'll put you on there. We need a blue one here. Then I don't want 2 reds on the same side, do I? Red, blue. No, I want a blue down here. Okay, and then I want a red here. Oh well, I just want them to be here. We'll get you out of the way. We'll put you over here. No, we'll put a blue there, and we'll do that. Okay, once you've got them, what I would do, and they're glued down, just put a little dot of glue, probably on both sides of the berry. Not in the center, because that's on the paper. So on both sides of the fabric, put a dot of glue, put them there, press them down. You can even set a book on top of them if you want to, so they'll flatten. Okay, and then find a neutral color of thread. In this one, it would probably be this brown, because it might show up on that, but it might not. Or you might use, I don't think you'd use a green, but find a color of fabric that isn't going to show up, a thread that's not going to show up on all of them if you can. Because then you can sew this down, go to here, go under, go around, go up, go around, go up, go around. You don't have to keep starting and stopping. Go to here, you do it, and then when you get to the bottom of this, you do it on the other side all the way. So you don't have to start and stop with each berry because that will take you forever. And I'm pretty sure you can get away with either this dark rose. I really think the brown, because whether we know it or not, most colors have some brown in them because brown is a combination almost of all the colors. Black is a combination of all the colors. But brown, it gets real close to it. So probably a brown or a dark beige would work fine to go ahead if you're good at hiding your stitches. And I've gotten so I really am. Otherwise, you're just going to have to suck it up and do all the brown berries first. But that means you have to stop and cut and stop and cut and stop and cut. So if you can find a color thread that works, it's really a lot easier on you. So there we have it. We get through with this and we will have our Hawthorn Ridge berries and leaves block. Okay, I'm going to recap, but first I left out my little leaves. And before you sew these down, you need to stick this leaf in. And I can't do that one because I haven't got it, the thing. But you just stick them under there and put a dot of glue on, and they go at the bottom. Okay. All right. And then, okay, the most important thing, or the most challenging thing to me in this block is getting the layout appropriately so your block looks balanced. And you do that by folding your fabric in two, folding it into a square again, so it's a small square, and then folding the square into a triangle, because a triangle gives you these lines, and where the squares go gives you first the center for your center thing, and secondly, the placement of the bottom of your vines for your berries, stems for your berries. So we hope you've enjoyed this tutorial from Jan Patek Quilts. If you have, please subscribe to our channel. Thanks and have a good day.